and welcome to One Way TV this week. Thanks for joining us. We have a great lineup again this week. We've got Decky music with I Am Australian, and we've got our national anthem, so of course make sure you stand for that. Share the video and share the link with friends, onewaytv.org, 7 p.m. Friday and 9 a.m. Sunday live, or watch anytime via YouTube. Have a great week and catch you next time.
I came upon the dreamtime from the dusty red soil plain. I am the ancient heart, the keeper of the flame. I stood upon the rocky shore, I watched the tall ship come. For 40,000 years I've been the first Australian. We are one, but we are many, and from all the land on earth we come. We share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian. I came upon the prison sea, bowed down by iron chain. I greet the land, endure the last, and wait for the rain. I'm a settler, I'm a farmer's wife, on a dry and barren run. A convict and a free man, I became Australian. I'm the daughter of a digger who sought the mother lode. The girl became a woman on the long and dusty road. I'm a child of the Depression, I saw the good times come. I'm a bushy, I'm a battler, I am Australian. We are one, but we are many, and from the land on earth we come. We share a dream and sing with one voice. I am, you are, we are Australian. I'm a teller of a story, I'm a singer of a song. I'm Albert and I'm Machira, I bring the ghostly gun. I'm Clancy on his horse, I'm not Kelly on the run. I'm the one who was Matilda, I am Australian. I'm the hot wind from the desert, I'm the black soil of the plain. I'm the mountains and the valley, I'm the drought and flooding rain. I am the rock, I am the sky, the river when they run, the spirit of this great land. I am Australian. We are one, but we are many, and from all the land on earth we come. We share a dream and sing
Well, hello there, and welcome back to Blessings in Bendigo, Part 12. 1891, the name of Sandhurst is changed back to Bendigo. The first consignment of apples from Bendigo is sent to London Market, thus pioneering as a market overseas. 1891 was also the year Ashman's Tailors and Clothiers opened in Bendigo. Also, George Mackay's book, The History of Bendigo, was published. 1892, Reverend Charles Tregear told of revival at California Hill Methodist Church. 1892 was also the year electricity came to Bendigo. 1893, the bust after the housing boom of the 1880s in Melbourne closed more than 80% of the metropolitan building societies, but the Bendigo and the Sandhurst were sound as bells and continued to pay dividends. Also, Sir John Quick played a major role in the Corowa Conference that year. He devised a formula for the votes in each colony to elect delegates to assemble to draw up Australia's constitution. 1895, Reverend Dettridge began his time in Bendigo. He said that it was a circuit of great congregations, immense Sunday schools, active endeavour societies of soul-shaking and of glorious singing powers. Also that year, a loan was arranged from Mr. G. Lancel to design the Sacred Heart Cathedral and the Chinese Association building built in Bridge Street, now the Dragon Museum. 1896, Bendigo Law Courts were opened, designed by Major George Watson, one of Australia's finest public buildings. Okay, that's all we have this week. Join us again next week for more of Blessings in Bendigo. Bye.
I'd like to have $1 for every time I've heard the phrase, "Oh well, can't do much about it." It's a phrase that, if you stop and listen, is repeated quite frequently. It could be used in relation to our health, situations at work, other people who do silly things that affect us, our family, things around the home, something, whatever's going wrong, that phrase can be used. So, just anything in our general day-to-day lives that are often beyond our control and beyond our ability to change. That phrase can also be used in situations that bring great stress and distress to us, and we can get swamped by feelings of helplessness. A few years ago, in the days of Paul, there was a lady called Tabitha. She was well respected within the community, somebody who was known for going around, doing good, and helping out. She was also a good sewer and could sew tunics and garments that were given to people in need, and we can actually read a bit more about her story in Acts 9. Unfortunately, Tabitha became sick and died. The body was prepared for burial, but there were a few people who were not prepared to say, "Oh well, can't do much about it." A few people decided that there was something that could be done and that there was hope for Tabitha. They had heard that Paul, another disciple of Jesus, was in the area. They sent for Paul, imploring him to come and visit and to do what he could. So we have to remember, at this point, Tabitha was dead. Her body had been prepared for burial. There was nothing on earth that could bring her back to life. No medicine, no health treatment, no amount of wishful thinking. When the men arrived, Paul responded by immediately coming to visit. Here Paul found a unique situation, one that required him to draw on courage, faith, and hope. Now that Paul was here, you could imagine that little flames of hope were just beginning to flicker in their hearts. The story of the miracle encounter that Paul had had with Jesus, and the story of the miracles that Paul had performed in the name of Jesus, had gone before him. He was a man of great faith, and the fact that he was here amongst them meant that perhaps something great could happen here too. So they began to petition him, putting forward the cause of Tabitha, and always willing to help others and to do good. You could imagine a chorus of upset widows beginning to get excited, and the noise that may have been coming from the upper room where Tabitha was, as they just petitioned Paul and asked him to do something. The fellow disciples were now expecting nothing less than life to come from death. They were believing that God would do something. Paul shooed them all away, and he took a moment to gather himself. He then knelt down and cried out to God, "Tabitha, arise!" Perhaps Paul didn't have a lot of confidence that God would raise Tabitha from the dead, but what he did have was faith and the courage to give it a go. It only needs to be faith as small as a mustard seed, enough to believe that God could possibly intervene in this situation and bring about change for something to happen. That little bit of faith, that courage to have a go, and that hope that maybe something will happen is what drove Paul to get to his knees and to cry out, "Tabitha, arise." So at the sound of the voice of Paul, Tabitha opened up her eyes and sat up. He helped her up, took her outside, and presented her to the others. This situation reveals to us the power of God to change situations that look hopeless and uncertain that we find ourselves in. When things aren't looking good, when we sit here and say, "Oh well, there's nothing I can do," we need to stop ourselves. We need to remind ourselves that no situation is beyond redemption by the power of God. There's no situation that is too far gone that something good can't come out of it with God working in it. It only takes a little faith, a little flicker of hope to say maybe something could happen here. Maybe this situation could turn around. And couple that with a little bit of courage to actually cry out to God and to ask for something to happen, then things can turn around and God can come in and work in the situation. There's nothing beyond the power of God's redemptive hand. There's no situation that's too hard for him. The words Peter uttered weren't eloquent and long-winded. They were just simply, "Tabitha, arise." Simple words like, "God, help me," said with a little flicker of hope, a little courage, a little faith, is all that's required to bring down the power of Jesus and have that work in our situations. So when you find yourself in a situation again where you're saying, "Oh well, there's nothing I can do," cry out to God for help and watch your situation turn around. If you've find yourself in a situation that you'd like us to stand with you in prayer for, or that you'd like us to pray for the power of God to come in and turn around, just let us know. You can tap on the live prayer link if you're watching live, or you can visit our website, onewaygathers.org, and click on the Contact Us button, and we'll pray with you and alongside you and help you to believe that we can see power in your situation, God's power work in your situation and turn things around. Thank you and have a good week. We hope you enjoyed our show this week. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you set your alarm for next week, 7 p.m. Friday, 9 a.m. Sunday, and share the link onewaytv.org with all your friends. Have a great week and happy Australia Day.